and welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie, and this is the last 10 book tag. So I was on the fence about what I wanted to do this week for videos, so I figured I would do this tag. I did this tag back in 2018 and had a good response to it, so I figured I would do it again. It was created by Mark Nash. I will link his original video down in the description box so you guys can follow along and get the questions, but the questions are already down there, so you know, watch his video, don't watch his video, the questions are down there. So if you want to do this, you can. Essentially what this is taking his questions and answering with the last 10 books that I have for these questions. So let's just get into it. Question number 1 is the last book that I did not finish. That was Into White by Randy Pink. If you want to see my full reasoning on why I did not finish this book, check out week 37's weekly review. I have an entire section on there that is going to be talking about why I didn't like this book. This book, it fell into my lap as a controversial book, and it shall stay a controversial book because it's hot dumpster fire trash. Question number 2 is the last book that I reread, and that was The Bells by Danielle Clayton. And I am so happy that I reread this book. I'm super excited to get to the next book in this series because I must have been in a different headspace the first time I read this book, because I didn't give it a horrible rating before. I still kept it at 4 stars last time, but during the reread I was like, I actually really enjoyed this story. So the first time I read it, I was like, it's an alright story, it's okay. This time I was like, ooh, I kind of want to know what's going on with it. I'm very intrigued. This story is very intriguing to me. So yeah, I definitely am happy with this reread. The third question is the last book that I bought. I just recently purchased The Lionheart by Carrie Aarons. I ARC read this book. I loved this book. Oh my goodness. This book follows a footballer that has some issues from his past that he needs to get over, and our female character is a model who is dealing with similar issues. There are content warning for abuse in this book, but overall it was amazing. Carrie did an amazing job at handling this very difficult subject, and I was so here for it. I mean, I loved the arc of it, so I can't wait to do a reread of this entire series, because it made me feel like I should love some football, as in European football. Yes. Question number 4 is the last book you said you read but didn't, and I don't have any of those, because if I DNF a book, or I just don't read a book, if I haul a book, if I'm like, oh, I have this book and I'm gonna read it, and then I don't read it, I just don't say that I read it, period. I'm not in the habit of saying I read something that I didn't. Question number 5 is the last book that I wrote in the margins of. I don't read physical books, so there is no writing in the margins. However, I did note in one of my books, and that book was Desperately Seeking a Roommate by Micaiah Smeltzer, and the quote that I noted was, "Cum is such a nasty, dirty word. Creme de la penis is more enticing." Woo! Makes you want to go out and read that book, right? I think so. Question number 6 is the last book that I had signed. Yeah, last book that I had signed. And I recently received my copy of Parental Guidance by Avery Flynn, and she had it personally signed to me, and I received it. Yay! The question number 7 is the last book that I lost. Them books don't go anywhere, so I don't lose any books. I I don't think I've, no. There's no loss of books for me. I don't leave books anywhere. They stay right here. Question number 8 is last book that I had to replace. And I don't think I've had to replace any books. Like ever. Question number 9 is the last book I had an argument over. And there are 2 of them. The first one is The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye. And I wouldn't necessarily say this was an argument. This was a conversation between bookish friends, and in the end we actually see things almost similar. There were just different parts of the book that we felt more inclined to be pulled towards. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it was an argument. It was a conversation, a huge discussion. Now, this next book, the second book that I did, it was an actual argument. And actually it was more of a one-sided argument because I didn't engage. But that was Getting Schooled by Christina C. Jones. And I was told that I canceled the author and that I was completely wrong in placing this in Urban Contemporary. And in the follow-up video for the follow-up books of this, I explained all of that. So if you were interested in knowing more about that, go check out those videos. And then the final question is the last book you couldn't get a hold of. And I had to really think about this one, but I went with Bound, which was Tangled Web number 3 by Alethea Roman. And I've read the first 2 books as ARCs, but this one I wasn't on the ARC team for. So I had to wait until it actually came out and was released to get to my conclusion to this story, which was amazing. So good. Oh my goodness. Every single time I thought, oh, the story's almost done, I'd look at my percentage and be like, oh my gosh, we're only at 50%. Oh my goodness, we're only at 60%. And then more twists, more turns, more craziness, just so much. But I had to wait until release day to get all the answers that I needed. So that was the last 10 book tag. If you found any of that to be interesting, please feel free to do this tag. I will leave the questions down in the description box so you can join along. Let me know down in the comments if you end up doing this video so I can go take a look at it, because I would love to hear your thoughts and what your last 10 books were for these questions. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.